job. You're doing great, Heather. You're doing great. We're gonna have a great call. We're already having fun. We're all here. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome to the landing strip of Scentsy learning Jotform and Google Docs tonight. We are very excited. So normally every call we do, we have an opening question that the Superstar Director panel will answer. And actually, we don't have a question tonight. So the first person that puts a question in the chat, we're going to answer it.
Let's ask Kimberly something. Yeah. Or let's put her in the hot seat. She's already in the hot seat, but let's put her in the hot seat again.
Yeah.
Kimberly, let's ask a panel question.
So you want me to ask you guys a question? Or ask everyone a question?
Yeah, it's for the panel, but then you're going to answer it too.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I guess since we're talking about forms and stuff, who already uses forms for their business and how do you use it?
Oh, that's a great question. All right. So who wants to go first? And then you tag the person next. Okay. I'll have Kimberly. We'll have Kimberly go last because she's leading into the professional training. And right now, this is the amateur part of it. I'm going to say I use Google Doc and I use it for all of my parties. It is a form that they fill out prior to me mailing a fun, personalized sample pack that they get before the party so they can try before they buy. And I do Google Doc. However, I do have a Jotform account and I am learning it. Jody, what is yours?
So I also use Google Forms and I use those mostly for my parties. I do dabble a little bit in Jotform. I think it has a lot to offer, but it also overwhelms me a little bit. I did do a Jotform for a retreat I have coming up and I just made one before this call. So I kind of had, my feelers about me for party packs to kind of get done with Google and just use Jotform. So I'm very excited about tonight. So I can't wait. Melissa, how about you?
I'm not very well versed on using my phone. I use Google Docs. I haven't even got, I don't know, is the contact form a Google form maybe that you help you do use that, Heather. So I use it for my parties, for the party packs. However, I know it's easy to use. I need to use it more. I need to implement it in other parts of my business. I've never used Jotform, so I'm looking forward to it tonight.
Yeah, I actually use Google Forms. So I'm calling it a Google Doc and that really is something different, but I just call it a doc because it's a document to me. So thank you, Melissa.
And so there's Jill and Jen left, right?
And Jamie.
And Jamie. I don't see anybody.
I'm shocked after all this time that you guys all still use Google Forms. Like shocked. I don't know why I thought. I use Jotform. I like all the options. I flip back and forth from Jotform to Google Forms for the longest time, but I like all the options. So I've used Jotform for probably over 3 years now, but there's a ton more options and I usually stick to what I know. So I'm excited to see what else is available now. And then there's Jamie.
So I feel like, what is it? Google Doc, Google Form. I don't even know what the correct thing is. That's what I was using because it took me forever to even figure that out. And like, I'm one of those, I'm like, okay, this works. So why try something new? But then I think it was Anna Hughes that shared a Jotform and she's like, look, you can just share it and you don't have to do anything. You can just share. I was like, hold up. And so then my eyes were open. So I have been sticking just to Jotform ever since she shared that with me, that you could share a template, or I don't even know if I'm using the right words, but that was like huge because I want to be able to do that for new team members and such. So, and is Jen on?
She sent a message saying she was having trouble connecting at her friend's house. So as of right now, I think she's not on.
Okay.
That would leave us.
Then Kimberly's up.
Yep. Okay, cool. I am loving hearing y'all's responses and then everyone over in the chat as well. So I'm seeing both a good mixture of Google Forms and Jotform. And then some people are like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I have never used a form in my life. So forms is kind of like, it's kind of like a system. Like when we talk about follow-up systems or what have you, it doesn't matter what you use as long as you use it, because it can be very, very valuable for you. So
If you use Google Forms, that's fine. If you use Jotform, that's fine. If you use Typeform, and I think there's a couple of other ones, whatever you use, that's fine. I just was asked to come share with you guys why I love Jotform, and then some things that hopefully I can screen share and I can show you guys really how simple it is and how it can really level up and change your business. So I do want to share with you 4 ways that I use Jotform first, and then some psychology behind it. So whenever I switched from Google Forms to Jotform, I loved Google Forms. And then somewhere along the way, they changed and they wouldn't allow you to customize it as much as I wanted to. So it wasn't looking, I'm very visual person, and it wasn't looking how I wanted it to look. And so that's where Jotform came in, and I can make it look exactly how I want it to look, which was a huge piece for me. Yeah, so the good thing about it is that Jotform, there's all different levels. You can use Jotform for free, which is great. The only drawback, and it's not even a drawback, some people don't like it, is down at the very bottom, it just says powered by Jotform. Okay, let me see if I can screen share. I'm going to show you guys a couple of things. I don't know, it's desktop 1. I don't know if this is going to be the right thing. Allow Zoom. This is my first time using this computer. So, oh my goodness, you got to be kidding me. Hang on. Desktop.
Please, there's no judgment here. You saw what the fiasco was when we started. Judgment-free zone.
Yes, I want to allow. What? Until it is quit. Record the contents of your screen until it's quit. I don't want to quit. Okay, let me see if that worked. I just had to check the box. Awesome things about having a new computer, right? Okay, let's see. All right, there we go. Let me get to my Jotform. Okay. So I can't see the chat now. So if you guys are asking questions in the chat, I'll come back at the end, or if one of you SSDs want to pass along, that's fine. So this is what Jotform looks like whenever you come in. You have access to all of your forms in one place. You can see, you can name them. They're very easy to find. So of course, the ones towards the top, it kind of sorts it by the last open. So you can kind of see which ones I use the most. So the first one is kind of like what everyone mentioned, the party pack request is the one that you can see I have 136 submissions. And then my scent box, which is kind of like my scent crate, what we used to call whiff boxes before we got whiff boxes. I also use it for my customer giveaway, which I will get into in just a minute. And then my landing page and opt-in, which is kind of like a link tree. And I think that is the big game changer here, because when you think of Linktree, you have to pay Linktree if you want to be able to collect people's information, like their phone or their email. But with Jotform, you can do it for free, which is pretty awesome. And you can make it look exactly how you want it to look. So let me just walk you through how simple it is to create a form and some things to kind of keep an eye out for. So all you have to do is just come up here to the top left, create a form. Then you have 3 options. First is to start from scratch. I know starting from scratch really overwhelms people because it's hard sometimes to think, well, what do I want in this form? You can use a template, which is great. I'm going to show you that. And then you can import a form, which is what Jenny was talking about. You can create a form as a leader of a group, of a team. And if you want to share it, you can give people that link to the form. They can come here to import form from a web page, and they just paste the URL there, and it's pretty much copied into your Jotform. Okay, so here's the cool thing. You can use templates and you can search for anything. There's all different types over here. So contact forms, feedback forms, there's different industries, but a really cool thing is you can just come up here and type in Scentsy. And then people have been so amazing and awesome to share the forms that they have created here. You can kind of scroll through, look at that. There's already a Beauty and Beast one ready to go. Okay, so, and all you have to do is just click use template and then edit it to make it how you want it to look. But let me go back. I'm going to start from scratch so you can see what that looks like. So you have 2 options. A classic form is kind of like what Google Forms is like. All the questions are on one sheet. or like one scroll. And then a card form is one question at a time. One thing I will tell you is to be very cautious if you're going to choose the card form, because sometimes if your form has like 10 questions on it and people can't tell what those questions are, they might not fill it out. I am one of those people. If there's a lot of questions, because I do not want to answer 7 questions and then the 8th question, I'm like, I don't have that information right now, or I don't know how to answer that question. And then they leave the form. You don't want that to happen. So that's why I'm a huge fan of the classic form. So let me show you what that looks like. All right. On the left-hand side over here, you have all of your elements. This is going to be everything that you would want to add to the form: the name, the email, the address, all that kind of fun stuff. Then on the right-hand side, I can't see it, this right here is going to change the way that everything looks. Okay. So the first thing, I always get rid of this header. I don't need a header. Sometimes I see people adding a logo here because it says, hey, add your logo. I will tell you, if you add a logo, it's going to be outside of this white box. So I like things to be all within this little white box. So I'm just going to click and drag, name, email, phone number. One thing that I do, so right here with address, I'm a huge fan of keeping things as short as possible. There's actually some stats that I wrote down. So 86% of people leave a form because it's too time consuming. So it gets too overwhelming, so they don't fill it out. So one of the things I like to do is like to keep mine as short as possible. So with the address, now in some cases you might need this, maybe if you're going to be mail merging or maybe pulling into pirate ship. But for this, I'm not a fan of this one. I like to pull in the long text like this because it's a lot shorter. So then I just say, address, city, state, zip. Okay, pretty simple, right? So far, so good. So we want people to answer all of these questions. So when you click on this, we have these little gears, or you can trash it, right? And you can also move them if you put them in the wrong spot. So if you click on properties, I can understand where this might get overwhelming, but this is where you can kind of really dive in to really make it customizable to you. But if you want each question to be required, just right here, required. So I'm just going to make a couple of them required. Then down here, the submit button, you can change how this looks, change the button style. I'm not a fan of green. There's studies that say that green is pleasing. I prefer nice and gray. And then we can come up here to this and we can change the color of the form. And I'm a fan of teal. So I'm going to kind of come down here. All right. So there. And then you can see like right here where it says add a new page. That's where it would say powered by JotForm if you're on the free account. But that is pretty much it. Now, if you are a fan of Canva or PixArt or what have you, you can go make an image to go at the top of this. So if this was for a party pack, you could say party pack in Canva, and then you would just drag in image right here. And then you would just choose a file. I literally have nothing on this computer, so I have nothing to drag in, but you would choose a file and then it would pop up right there, super simple. And also whenever you share this link, if you're sharing it in like Messenger or on Facebook, this image is what's going to populate. Now, all of this is fine and dandy, but this is one of the reasons why I absolutely love JotForm. And I think it converts a lot of people over from JotForm is that submit button. So up here at the top, you have build, settings, and publish. So the second one, the settings button, there's even more options, right? So we have the thank you page. So right now, when someone completes that form and they hit the submit button, they're going to get this thank you page, and you can customize it all over here as well. But you can choose to redirect them to somewhere else. So for me, I do my parties a little bit differently. I do my parties in my customer group. So my party pack request form, it has my customer group right here. So as soon as they click that button, I get their responses and they're immediately taken to the group to join. That is one of the biggest things for me, because I don't know if you have ever had parties where the host just invites a ton of people, or they like to hit the invite button in the group. This is kind of a way to prevent that, because when you're host coaching, you're not telling your guests to invite them to the group. Your host is sending them this form. And that is something that you cannot do with JotForm, unfortunately. So that's one of the things. Now, for some of you, I don't know if anyone is saying this in the comments, but they're like, well, I like my submissions to be in Google, like in my Google Sheet. You can actually, there's some integrations, which is nice. So you can actually integrate right here, Google Sheets. So every time a submission comes in, it goes to your Google Sheets. If you're a fan of Trello, you can add Trello. It adds a new card in Trello. There's a ton of different things that you can do with this. That's really awesome. But that's the biggest piece. That's the one that I use the most, is for parties. Now, another thing, I'm sure you guys already do this too, like with your, like the number scale, like on a scale of 1 to 10, how, like, do you want to book a party or do you want to join, those kinds of things. Instead of doing that for mine, I make mine, I think mine's a multiple choice. Again, that's really just to keep it as short as possible. And so I just say, which one of these would you like? And then I list, let me know the next time you have a no out of pocket cost kit to get 20% back on your purchases, about booking a party to get free and half price rewards, add a catalog, and then no thank you. But here's another thing that is really important when you're thinking about forms. So in my customer group, I don't think let me show you the opt-in that I was talking about. Let me edit form. And then there's one other thing that I want to mention about sharing the templates and stuff. So this, like if you go to my Facebook, if you go to my Instagram, this is what you will see. Okay, so I have, Order Scentsy, talks about club, catching my lives every Thursday. That's my customer group for them to come into. My YouTube catalog, income disclosure, Clay, that's just like a link tree or milkshake or tap bio, whatever the hottest thing is right now, right? But if you want to stay up to date on specials, give me your name and your email and I'll add you to my stuff. Super, super simple. I think that's pretty much it with that piece. So let's say that I want to, as I go, I have more things I want to share. So on the free account, you can only have 5 active forms. You can create 20 forms if you want to, and you can enable or disable a form. So let's say that I'm not using this developmental call one. I can come down here to more and I can disable it. So that way it allows me to create another form so I can keep those 5 forms, if that makes sense. And then if you make a form and you love it and you want to add it to JotForm's template gallery, just come to more, share as a template. You'll have to name it, choose some categories, and then share the form. Super simple to put it over there. And then the same thing, if you want to take it out, the same process, it'll take you right back here and you'll say, I want to take it out. It'll pull it out for you. What else was I going to say? Here, let me stop my share. So one thing that we're in the comments, that's hilarious. Okay, so one thing that I use forms for that not a lot of people use forms for is, one, I do giveaways in my customer group. Now, one, per compliance, like I never say what I'm giving away. And the only thing that they have to do is comment, right? So in my customer group, whenever I have a post that is like specifically Scentsy related, that I know it's probably not going to get that many comments on it, I just do drawing entry. And then I do my post and then they answer a question down below in the comments. At the end of the week, I do my drawing. My drawing winners, when I post it in my group, I'm like, hey, here's the winners from this last week. Fill out this form to get your goodies. So then if you think about it, sometimes when people come into the group and they filled out the form, maybe that was years ago, maybe that was months ago. And so when they fill out the form again, they answer those questions differently. So for example, since I said I do my parties in my customer group, I had someone fill out the party pack form and she said no to joining, no to booking a party. And then she won the giveaway and she filled out the form again. And she was like, you know what? I want to do a party. Like I've had fun. I like how this is. It's really laid back. It's chill. I want to do a party. So doing it that way. And plus, if you have customers who have been in your group for years and you might not have ever asked them to join or host, and they win and they answer that question, you might have never asked them before. So that is a huge, huge piece for forms. Okay. Was there any questions that you guys saw that I need to?
Cody had one that says, give an example of a spinner, but I don't even know what she's talking about. So
Okay. A spinner.
I bought the spinner at IKEA. Is that what you're talking about?
No, no, no.
They're
It's an
probably-
option in the form underneath the elements. And I was playing with it today. I'm like, what would I do? I don't even know what it is.
She's talking probably about a digital spinner, like an
Okay,
online
form.
spinner.
And something else too is like there's other things here, right? I really wanted to keep it basic, but like if you do your own scent boxes or whiff box, whatever you want to call them, you can put PayPal, Square, you can attach that to here so people can actually pay you through your form. If you're on the free version, I think you can only have 10 payments a month. So keep that in mind, but you have that option, which is pretty neat. And then also widgets, there is a ton of things that you can add in. Okay, you said spinner. Let me find it. It looks just like here, we'll go up to publish. And this is where you get your link. Sometimes when people say like, I have my link, but like whenever I share it, nobody can see it right here. Make sure it's a public form, because if you have it as a private form like this, no one can see it. So just make sure it's a public form. Okay, so let me open this so we can kind of see what it looks like. So if this was the question, I mean, this could be like, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, how interested are you in getting 20% back on all your future purchases? Oh, let's see. I'm probably a 9 or a 10, right? So that's kind of how you could use the spinner option. And I just like how everything just looks so dang clean to me. Does that make sense? Let me go back. I feel like there are so many layers to Jotform, like even the emails that you send, like you can edit the emails that like the confirmation emails. You can even do conditions. I have conditions. Let me go to my scent box. You can see what that looks like. I have conditions on my scent box. I just did it. So, and this is also another way. This is probably a more advanced, like a next level type thing, but another way to keep your forms as short as possible is kind of to hide questions. So it's kind of like an if then. So if someone right here, it says, how do you prefer to pay? Both of these questions right here aren't visible when you look at the form. It depends on how they answer this question as to what pops up. So let me show you what that looks like. See, so it says, how do you prefer to pay? So you can see that form is really, really short now. So if I say, okay, I want to pay with Venmo, then it says, well, what's your Venmo username? Or PayPal, well, what's the best email to send a PayPal invoice to? So that's the conditions, the if then like this. See, it gets a little more with that. So if you're more advanced, you can definitely kind of dive into that. But that is pretty much it.
I like how clean and simple it is. Like I was way overthinking. And when you just started the call and just dragged one of the things over to create the form, it blew my mind.
Yeah, it's super simple. It is super simple. And honestly, like I can't even speak to Google Forms anymore because I literally have not touched a Google form in years. So I can't even do any comparisons with what that looks like. So Edna asked, does it integrate with Streak? It does not directly integrate with Streak, but it integrates with Zapier, which would integrate with Streak.
So I know on my Google Forms, I keep all my responses in there. So I have like 250 right now because I'm an old school, as you can tell. I print them out every time someone fills it out. So I keep them in there because if they answered yes on any of my like trigger questions, I like to be able to have that list compiled where I can follow up and I'm not ever like, well, who do I reach out to? So is
Right.
there a way to save those in Jot form where you have that as a resource to come back and follow up with?
Like your responses from
From the
Google
people.
Forms?
Yeah.
Well, from your Google form responses?
Well, no, or just create that same in Jot form where I can save their Jot form response where I'll be like, oh, okay, these are who I'm going to follow up that want a $20 join special or something.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to share, this is potentially, let me go back to the form that that doesn't have anybody on it. So that way there's no like information shared.
Okay.
Let me I have to keep scooting my stuff over. Okay, so more, we come here to submissions, and it's kind of like in a table, kind of looks like Excel or Google Sheets kind of.
Okay.
So you can see all of, this is where their responses would be. And then you would have, can I just do this? So yeah, you can see like we have you can do multiple. So if you want to like save, like you could like highlight. And one thing that I do is you can add a tab and you can choose another form's responses. So you have all of your responses in one place. So you can connect to a form, next, and then you choose which form, and then it would populate that form's responses as kind of like another tab. So you don't have to keep going back and forth. You can have multiple forms responses appear at the top.
So it's merging a whole bunch of different Jot forms into one sheet where you can kind of see it collectively as a whole.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's cool.
Then what I like to do is like whenever I'm done with something, like I'll star it. So that way I know that I am done. And then you can also filter this, like you can view certain dates. But yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
JotForm is a website and an app. And the app is actually really easy to use. Like you can literally create a form on your phone. I am partial to doing it on a desktop and then editing things if I want to on my phone, but you can see everything that you need to on the phone.
Does anybody have any questions that y'all want to ask about Jot form? While we have the
Like, how
expert
can I
on?
get like a more in-depth? I want to like
A
dive
part
in.
two?
Yeah, like can we have part two accelerated?
You have to create 3 forms and then
I
send
have
them
3 forms.
separately, and then you get advanced to the next class.
I have 3, but now I just realized I have to pay for the version if I want to have any more. I didn't know that. And I don't think I have a submit button on mine yet. But I must have something because I got responses, right?
Yeah, you should.
Okay.
And if for some reason you end up deleting your submit button, it's over on that left-hand side where you drag in.
Okay.
So JotForm is free. Let me, the free version. Yeah, the free version is, you get 5 forms, but again, you could have more than 5 forms. You just can only have 5 active forms. And then these are
There other benefits, Kimberly, to having the non-free version besides the unlimited number of forms you can have?
That's it.
That's it. Okay.
Yep, just having more forms, more submissions, more views. So with JotForm, every time someone views your form, like it's on the free one, it's 1,000. You can have 1,000 views on the free one. But honestly, like if you're getting 1,000 views on your form, you're probably already paying for it.
Yeah.
Unless you're sharing your form like in a group space or like, I don't know, like your team group, and you have a bunch of people in there who are going to be looking at it. That's one thing that you need to watch out for if you're on the free plan. But that is why it's great just to grab the link and like, or put it in the features gallery so people can pull it from there.
I have to play around with this tomorrow or some more. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
What else would you use it for other than LTOs or your scent box or collecting customers' information? Like most
So
new
like a
consultants probably just I'm sorry.
Did you already say pre-order?
Oh, pre-order. Yeah. For like LTOs. Yes.
Okay, you said that. Okay.
What else would you use it for? I know most new consultants probably would use the free version and be fine to start with that. But what else could you give some ideas for, regardless if they're new, have been around a while, or seasoned?
Yep. Yeah. So Jill said training, coaching calls, new consultants. If you are a new consultant, like some birthday club is another one. Another one is just samples. That's probably one of the first things that I used forms for, is like, hey, do you want a sample? And I would share that in my customer groups and samples that way. Another way that I use it is during catalog requests or like catalog change. Hey, who wants a catalog? So that way I know I can keep track of it there. Yep, catalogs, LTOs. That's pretty much it. And honestly, like, I feel like I use Jotform every single day because of like, I'm always doing parties. And then weekly with the giveaways, and then monthly with the scent box. So I am pretty much always in Jotform. But there's literally anytime you want to collect someone's information, you can use a form for that.
I would imagine it'd be really well for like the Scent Circle fundraiser or the 3 fragrance flower fundraisers to be able to collect info and payment all on one simple form.
Yep.
You got my wheels turning now. Now I'm going to be like the Jotform queen now that I saw this.
I was just gonna say, I can see it in her eyes when she looks out the window. She knows something.
It's Canva 2.0. Here we go.
And I am a Canva lover. This is like I hit the jackpot tonight. Carissa Cabral, she just messaged me. She's on the Zoom tonight, and she says she uses Jotform to, when she has new team members come on, she'll create like a little get to know you like survey sheet. So that's kind of cool.
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, I know my SSD's SSD will use forms also like for opt-ins to like leadership trainings or pretty much any type of training, or even like, how can I support you best? If you are a director or above in those groups, home office will share a type of form with us, asking us for our goals, and they'll recognize us based on our goals and not necessarily for like the reporting that they're seeing. So you can also do something like that, asking your team for their monthly goals, and you can do recognition based on the goals that they set.
Oh, that's really cool. I'm so
Happy
excited.
birthday, Crystal.
Retreat planning and SFR, like you could, I mean, a form for anything. Like she said, you can literally use it for anything you want to collect information. And then the minute you have all that information, you start entering all that information into your workstation. So that newsletter goes to all of those people, whether they've ordered or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I want to figure out a way to use it for, I have a lot of certified consultants on my team, and I really want to try to help them get to lead. So I'm going to really try to get creative and figure out how I can use this form in that fashion to identify the ones, even if they've been around a while. Like, you can still recruit someone and become lead. Like, I don't care how long you've been around. Like, I really want to try to utilize this form. It's just so simple. I just can't get over the simplicity of this. Like, I was really overcomplicating this.
It happens. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah, I mean,
I overcomplicate things all the time.
Yeah, no,
I think Heather, back when the Cinderella warmer came out,
yeah,
you had a bad Jotform experience with the PayPal button, remember?
Yes,
and you were
girls.
messing with it and like you were like, I am not using this. I'm going back to Google Forms. So one wrong little button press can give you a bad app.
Well, yeah, because a consultant in Canada sent me money to buy a warmer. And then by the time I refunded her money, I ended up paying more money back to her than she sent me. And I'm like, I'm never using this again. What is this?
So people are also in the comments talking about using it for stock. You can totally do that. And then Josephine also shared hers. So that way, like if you guys want to click on that, you can see what that looks like. It's a smart way to sell stock as well. Just making sure that it's just going one-on-one. And yes, Jackie, it doesn't link to Canva doesn't link. You just have to save it and then drag it in.
Can I ask a question, if you wouldn't mind doing a screen share again? I don't think I caught how you did it. You linked it to your VIP.
Yeah.
Do you mind, please?
Nope.
I really was paying attention. I was taking lots of notes.
No, you're good.
Thanks.
X out of these.
I gotta go up.
It's just the middle button under settings. If you click on settings, just over here under thank you page, and then redirect, and then you just paste the link there. And you can literally send people anywhere. You can send them to your business page. You can send them to your Google business page. Like if you're looking for reviews, send them to your Google business page or your, you can send them anywhere. The website to shop.
Genius. Is anybody else excited by show of hands? Or just me?
No, I am very excited. I don't even feel like we need to talk about Google Forms or Google Docs anymore. I feel like it's just kind of trumped and no one's going to use that anymore.
Well, I know I'm still figuring it out, but I know what I did, but prior tonight, what I did know prior tonight, I was the same thing. I was like, oh, this seems so simple. And now after hearing her, I was like, I think I was even over complicating the simpleness of what I was thinking that I knew how to do. So now it's even more simple to me. If that makes any kind of sense. It does to me, but I love how you can redirect people to whatever you want to at the end. So, and share. I love it all. It's great. Thank you for sharing with us.
Absolutely. So Jennifer asked a question, and no, it's not a dumb question, Jennifer. She said, where do you put this form? So you would just get the link and you would share it wherever you're wanting to collect information from. So that could be in your customer group. It could be in like maybe a newsletter or an email that you send out. There's anywhere that you're wanting people to fill out the form, that's where you would want to put it.
Just today, I had a hostess who said, okay, what is it? She basically said, how do I need to get my friends' addresses for the party? And I had a sample text with my link to my party pack form and said, copy and paste and send this right here. Then you don't have to collect anything. I will collect it all. And so I had it just right there for text, but Messenger, wherever, like she said, it's so convenient.
So I just give a little scenario and tell me if this can be done or not. So today I had a lot of success by posting last call, who wants a shopping link to leave up for I did 60 days instead of 90 days. And I had 5 people in my VIP group say, yeah, put me one on. I want a shopping link. So is there a way to request a shopping link for the job form and then maybe on day like 30 say, hey, you're halfway through your 60 days, and then another message, can it be automated, like the if then when thing that you're talking about, or is that just something I would physically have to do myself?
You probably could, like when you go into the emails, there's probably a way to delay those in email, and you can add as many notifications emails as you want. So you could probably totally do that.
Because that might be a fun way to just, have them on top of it and like remind them to share to see if we could get that up to the 200 or if not more.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's something else, Teresa mentioned it over in the comments. So she says she had, like, if you do events, you can have a QR code. When people come into your booth, they can scan the QR code to enter drawing or order or what have you. You can do it that way as well.
That's so smart.
And yes, Jotform does notify you. You can do that in the emails as well. It's going to automatically send you an email. You can also have notifications on the app.
Wow. Yeah, and then the fee, if you do the full version, paid version, it's still a tax write-off, right? Like you're
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's worth the expense, I think sometimes, or just getting down to one and just simplifying. I feel like this could be used for so many different things to where you're not having to learn all the different things. It's kind of just one simple form for everything.
Right.
Is the way I'm seeing it.
And so I see people asking about like the Linktree one. I'll make a copy of mine and then I'll send it to my SSD, who will send it to everyone's and all that kind of fun stuff. It has some coding in the back end that makes it look like that. So I will send that out so that way you can have that and play with that.
Yeah, I don't even have that. A Linktree, nothing. I don't even know. Seriously, when you said spinner, I picked it up at IKEA to do on my parties. Like it's a wheel, like.
Well, and it's funny because when I was making my jot form, I was trying to do a 0 to 10 scale and it would only go to 5. And now I can know that if I use the spinner, they can adjust the number. Yeah. But I'm like, well, I don't know what you do with this. Nothing is spinning. I can't think of itself. So
yeah, it's named a little weird, huh? Anybody else have questions before we let Kimberly go? Kimberly, thank you so much. Oh, good. Oh, good. They're asking questions. Wait.
I need to track points in a mystery hostess party to figure out who the winner is. This is my first one, and I'm trying to count them points. I don't know about with JotForm. If you find a way, let me know. I normally just literally count myself.
That's awesome. All right, anybody else have questions? I don't even feel like we need to cover. Is there anybody that really wants to hear about Google Form, or y'all just like forget it?
And I was gonna say two things actually. The first thing is it looks intimidating. I mean, but I feel like Google Forms is way more complicated because this is literally just drag and drop. And like she said in the beginning, it looks a little weird on the side, but if you can't break it. So if you just start playing with a form just to create your first one, you'll figure out how things work. And then go to their YouTube, they have on every single thing, tons of videos that she's doing, and that like, you can start adding stuff. Start with a basic name, address, phone number, add your graphic to the top. I will say this, and I know Kimberly is the same as me, but like take the time to figure out, and you can look it up, like where the graphic goes to figure out what the measurements are. If you want to add a graphic to the top, a lot of people, like she said, I stopped putting a graphic up there so that you can duplicate it. You don't have to worry about all that stuff, but just changing the color. But some of these forms don't look pretty, and it doesn't mean you have to be a graphic designer, but just make it look at least with colors. And if you're not good at the graphics yet, don't even add one, because they don't care. They know it's coming from you, and just start pressing buttons. I really feel like Google Forms is a lot more complicated. And if you guys just play with it a little bit, you'll find it much more simple and way more versatile to do a bunch of stuff that you want.
Yeah, I agree. Because I mean, your black raspberry vanilla scent sample can be a, layered, beautiful butterfly, and you took 45 minutes to make it, or I shaved off a sliver and gave it still works the same, right? So don't get caught up in these things that aren't income producing. Work smarter, not harder. That's going to get you to results. So I saw one question, Kimberly. She said last time that she created a job form, people were having trouble submitting it. They said that they had to create an account. How do I fix this?
I think I would check to make sure that your form is public.
Got it.
I think that might be the issue for that one. If not, feel free to shoot me a message with that link and I can try to help you troubleshoot it.
That's awesome. Yeah, this was so helpful. If there's one person listening that wants to hear Google Form, you are important and valued, and we will talk about it. But you have to tell us, either unmute and tell us verbally or put it in the chat, because I say, let's start playing with this. I mean, JotForm sales are going to go up tremendously after this call. Everybody's switching over. Poor Google.
And it's free. Literally, JotForm is free. You can use it for free. You can use it for free. You can use it for free, but it is a tax write-off. Yeah, it is a tax write-off.
So someone's asking, Kimberly, are you doing a breakout for SFR?
I am not.
Nope.
I'm not this year.
This is our breakout right here, y'all. VIP breakout.
I love it. Oh, we have someone. Tiffany wants Google Forms.
Oh, Tiffany.
She is valued. Let's talk about it. Actually, I want to stay because I haven't seen Google Forms in a really long time, so I want to see what it looks like.
Okay, sure.
It looks as exact same as it did in 1922.
Yeah, and I don't know that I'm really the perfect person to be teaching this.
Is Heather leading this? Because this is going to be really fun. I'm gonna figure it out.
So I'm sorry for you now. I'm going to apologize unless some of these other leaders want to step up and take over.
I don't even know if my Google account is still active. Like, I don't even
I have mine up. Because I wanted to see what questions I had on my form to put it into my Jot form.
So I'm going to tell you, this is how I find my Google form. So once you create your account, I go to Google and I search Google Form, and then I click to access my thing, because I don't know how to even find Google Forms ever again. Or actually, yeah, I think that's what I do. So let me get to my thing, I guess. Oh, Lord, bless you, Tiffany. Tiffany. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Sorry if y'all see something naughty. Google Form is how I get to it. I literally
four little square. Go up. There was like a little 9-pack right there. Click on that 9-pack right here. Can you see me? No, you can't see me.
I can't see you.
Great. Sorry.
So I go to Google Forms. but I've created so many Google accounts that I don't even know how to get to them. So I have to go over here because it's all in this one now, because I can't get it all to one. And so like, here's my, to create one, I think I just started with a template, like up above, like here's the gallery. I just chose something. I think I did party invite or whatever. And I just started making my own. So this is my party pack that I have since I started it in COVID. So I've had 280 people fill out my form since COVID. So it absolutely works for me. This I created in Canva. It was a header. You can title it, again, whatever you want. This is name first and last. I did have to make a few changes. And like Kimberly said, I made mine required because I want to force them to answer just to get through it pretty quickly. I have a really huge problem with people's Facebook names being different than their other names. So I added this because one of my processes in this is, well, I could probably show you, is you'll see my little, oh, you can't see me because it's off sharing screen, but there's a process when they fill out a form, I print it and I have a hard copy, I staple it and I put the number so I don't forget where I'm at. And I'll friend request the person and I go snag a profile picture and I use it for their sample pack. And then I'll post it in the party page saying, thanks so much, Becky. I received your form for the sample party participation pack. You'll be receiving your goodies soon. So I'm interacting with that person, but I need to know her name on Facebook so I can friend request her. Who is the hostess? Because I have multiple parties happening, so I like to know who the host is. I want their email. I want their mailing address. And after it happened about 5 times where people just put the street name, they didn't put the city, state, zip, I had to make it a separate box because they were leaving so much information off that I was having to contact them back and go, hey, what's your city and zip code? I want their cell phone number so I can text them if I decide one day to start texting my customers. I don't really, I mean, when they text me, I'll respond, but I don't seek texting out. And then I ask them, what kind of smells do you typically love? I want to know their fragrance family so I know how to put certain things under their nose where I know it's going to be a sell. Do you currently use Scentsy in your home? If so, what? What products have you not tried yet but would like to? So I have that question on there because if it's a repeat host or person at a party, anytime that person puts something on here, I try to make it happen and I'll add it to one person's party participation pack just to make it that extra special. You asked and you want to try lotions, I'm going to put lotions in your thing. One lady put 100 acre wood wax one time. I had never made samples of that. I pulled my only bar off that I had and I made a sample and I put it in her pack and said, put a little note and said, here's your sample of 100 acre wood that you wanted to try. Yes, it took me a little extra time, but she since then bought the 3 bars of that at a party, has bought it since then and is a customer for life now. So it is those small little details that I take pride in doing because it is creating that customer loyalty that I do believe has helped my customer base be so strong. Do you have any following pets? I'm going to probably take cats off because I heard when they lick it, it's probably not good. So I'm probably just going to ask if they have a dog only, but I kind of feel like if I leave dog only, then it looks like I'm a cat hater. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. I'm just going to leave it like it is now and move on. So here's my tricky questions that I do, and it works a lot very well. So everybody that has a friend that's hosting, you always want to help your friend out. People feel obligated to help your friend. So a lot of times people will answer yes on this question because they look like a D-bag if they say no. And so they say, would you be interested in helping your host get an extra half price item? Well, they of course say yes, because you look like a, you know what? And how that works is, every original host, if they have 3 people that book a party off of it, that perpetual party reward goes back to the original host and she can, 3 people book, that's 3 more half price items. So yes, I want to help my host get an extra half price item. Then I'm talking to them directly. Would you like to be spoiled with free and half price goodies? And then I added a little extra word. So it's like, yes, please, no, thank you, maybe, tell me more. That still means yes. It's just tricking them. And then, do you know anyone that might be interested in earning some extra money? Yes, no, maybe. So these are my people that I target with my reward system when they send me a referral of a consultant. I always target them with that. I've actually started putting paperwork in the party packs that answer these questions on what they can do to follow up. So it's an immediate follow-up instead of me relying on my follow-up. It's in printed paperwork in my party packs. And then, of course, would you like to get paid on your purchases? Yes, I'd love some info. Maybe, please tell me more. No, thank you. I don't mind paying retail. That sounds so terrible. No one likes paying retail. So I put that in there because I'm trying to tell them in their head, you want a discount. And then on a scale from 1 to 10, how interested are you in starting your own business? 0 means don't call me. 1 through 10, possibility. And so I will put my little form in there that says, get paid on your purchases or start your own business, whatever it may be. I have all different forms that I'll throw in there. But it is like a treat when the party pack is sent out. Now you can customize and add this however you want. The only thing that confuses a lot of people is to send this or to send the link, you actually literally go to the send button, which is a little weird. And you want to click the little chain link looking thing and shorten the URL so it's not so long. And then you can copy and paste that. And that's the link that you would share for people to fill out your form. Now you can click here on the little palette, change your theme colors, font styles, background colors. This is, oh gosh, I think I just clicked the wrong thing. I guess it's what the view of like the view of what they would be seeing if they were like viewing your form. And then the little gear here is, of course, your settings. You want to be really careful. See where it says require sign in? Don't check that because that's a lot of times when these people will get this Google form and it's requiring them to create an account. And you're like, no, I don't want to create an account. And so they won't fill out the form. So you need to make sure your settings are good to go in any form for that matter. So it's simple and makes it easy to flow. I have it where they can edit after they submit. If they change their mind and decide, maybe I do like floral this time. And then I don't collect emails because it's on the form. No need it to really do that. And then the 3 little dots is where you can make a copy, move to trash, print. You can add collaborators so other people, I guess, could work on your form with you. I don't do that too often because I don't want people to mess up my forms. And even Canva, I have to like make a copy and then I'll send it. Oh, I didn't even see the chat, you guys. Sorry. Oh gosh. Oh, sorry, y'all. I'm not good at this. Yes, you can get to my form. Just don't fill it out. If I give y'all this link in the chat, you promise not to fill it out as like you're interested in the business. Okay. Because I can't sign you up. Hold on, let me think what my form is. I have too many names of forms where I don't remember things.
Well, you just copied it. So paste it. Just hit paste.
I was trying to use my URL like professional.
I know you're rebrandly, but you just copied it. So if you just put paste in the chat, it would work.
Beautiful. Thank you. It works
You're
so
welcome. It's okay. It's a long day.
This has nothing to do with the length of the day. It is just technology. And I barely get along with this. Like it is amazing that I've even run my business on this for the past year.
I didn't even realize this whole time you were as Callie.
Oh yeah, I'm Callie. Yeah.
I didn't either.
I just noticed it just now.
Yeah, it's fine.
And I think that's the other thing with Google Forms that I don't love is that you literally have to click inside each one. I mean, you have to title them perfectly to know what your graphic is. You know, that's kind of why I like Jotform too, because if you name them right, you can just go down through the list and they're all there and you can see which ones you've made recently and who's who. It's just a little bit more organized and the responses are a little bit, much more organized. You know, you have to click in Google responses and then you can get each individual one, or then you have to export. I mean, it's just a little bit more.
Yeah, to find your responses, I didn't show that, Jill. I'm glad you said that, because to find your responses, you go back into your form and you just click responses. That's it. And you can view them individually or like a summary, which I never do. I just print them out old school. I have literally hard copy of all of mine, and they're in piles. So I know one day maybe I'll put them in Excel and get rid of paper and save trees. But at this point,
So, can I add something, Miss Heather?
Please,
First of
yeah.
all, if you got them printed, I don't know why you still save them in your holderator there in your Google.
not
Docs.
sure.
But if you could you share your screen one more time
Yes.
and go back to the responses?
Yes.
So one of the things that I do with my Google form is, and you have to be really diligent in remembering this, is I will turn off accepting responses over here on the right. If it's like, if I say your deadline is Friday, I'm going to shut that off Friday afternoon. So I know I'm not getting any more responses over the weekend. I get those forms out. I print all of mine and then I delete these, because that 280 number, Lord, would kill me. But Heather also has 48,000 emails and 17,000 unread text messages. So
Yeah,
I
do.
But if you turn that off and you send that form to somebody else to fill out, you better make sure you turn it on, or else they won't be able to respond to your form.
Yep.
So.
And I don't ever turn mine off. I give a specific time, fill out by June 11th at 2 p.m. Central Time. Because if you scroll to the very bottom, you can see what date and time they submitted. And if it's after, I just ignore. Or if I feel generous that day, I'll send a late packet. But typically, follow the rules or you miss out.
Well, and it's easy. Like if you have the packs already, which most of us do, and then even on my form, it says, do you want to try pet or laundry or clean or whatever? I will go into my cabinet and I'll pick something personal. So everybody's party pack is the same content. And then there's a few personalized items that you just throw in, which are done wherever you keep them. Mine happen to be behind me, and then it's more personalized for them. So now we're talking about party packs instead of forms. But
can I give a suggestion?
Yes, Josephine, go ahead.
So I know most of us like turning our party packs forms off after like 10, because we're doing 10 or however many numbers you need to get done. I like to leave mine on, because I will let them know, the first 10 that submitted it. But it allows me, for instance, the job form. Everybody in the group has to fill it out. The first 10 obviously get the forms, whatever the case may be. But at least I'm able to still know by the questions if they want to have a party, if they want to join. So the other people after 10, I'm not going to shut it off. Or even if it is the Google form, I won't shut that off, because I still get answers to those questions that I can still pursue afterwards, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
All right, anybody else have questions? Google Doc or form was way shorter.
they're both still good, I guess.
That's cool.
As long as you're using something, whatever works for you, just like follow up, whatever system works for you is what you need to go with. I like them both.
Yeah.
I do like Jotform. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I do like it. I played with it and then I stopped and went to Google, and so.
Yeah, I'm going to probably make the switch. I will tell you this, if you are new, you are going to make samples. Everyone should be making samples. That is a vital part of our business. But if you are handing them out without collecting information, get on there and make a jot form strictly for your samples. I never hand out any samples without collecting some form of follow-up, whether that's friend requesting them on Facebook, getting their cell phone number and texting them, an email, something. Because if you are handing stuff out without following up, you're wasting your time and your money.
One quick question, Heather. Can you show us where again on Google Form to turn off requiring them to sign in? Can you show us that again?
Sure.
Please, thank you.
Okay, let me share my screen. Sorry. So it is going to be, you go into the wheel or gear, requires sign in. You don't want that checked. You do not want them to have them sign in.
She said wheel.
The wheel.
Wheel. Like cool.
Yeah. Wait, one training. Can we please do a training on shopping links?
Oh, that wouldn't
That's
even be a whole training.
Yeah, that's a whole training in itself, and it would be a in-depth one.
You think so? I don't think it would be that long. Oh,
At everybody's different level, I think it would be very confusing, actually, but someone else can do it. It's probably a better one-on-one, but in this large people trying to learn at the same time, it's going to be very confusing.
we can maybe work on it. We are at the top of the hour, though. At exactly the top of the hour. We never end on time.
A training on Visily. Yeah, I don't use Visily, so somebody else probably has one. I don't use it. I only post one thing a day, and honestly, my meat and potatoes is me connecting with those people individually prior to the party, my party packs, and my live. My meat and potatoes are not these crazy, weird posts of what's your favorite color of the season when the leaves are falling. Is it blue, or you have 2 washing machines? I don't do any of that stuff. Like, no, don't do it.
I do use this.
You can. Everybody runs their business differently.
And I love it.
Yeah. All right, we're at the top of the hour. Anybody else? A last minute question? Anybody?
What's next week's training?
Next week's is,
We never
What's the
say what
date?
next week's is, and I think we should, so that they know to come.
next week is interesting. It is my favorite book and what you learned and how it impacted your business from that.
Good, great.
Not even reading, it could be an audible. You could listen, it counts.
You don't actually have to visually.
I don't read. I listen.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
All right, guys, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate all of you, especially Kimberly. Thank you so much for getting on here and sharing your wealth of knowledge. I'm so excited to go play. Thank gosh, my husband's still out of town because I could stay up till 11 o'clock playing with jot forms.
Wine time.
Whoa.
Thank you guys for having me.
No, thank you so much. We really, really appreciate y'all. All right, we'll see you guys next Thursday night. We'll probably add something with that topic. Do you think that would take a whole hour to do that one, or?
No, that sounds like the question of
The question. That could be the question.
Sounds like the question.
Well, one of these ladies are going to come up with the topic, and we are going to do it.
Yeah, we're gonna do shopping links.
I have a garage sale tomorrow, so I've got to go work in the garage and put up a sign. We have garage sale at my house Friday and Saturday.
Lord.
I know. Oh, how do you stop the live? Oh, got it.
Hit stop recording too. We're not always this dysfunctional. No, that we are kind of dysfunctional, but Kelly is the one that runs all that, and she's absent tonight.
Right.
So
I'm going to stop the recording. Bye, livers, and bye.